Hey everybody, my name's Ed. Okay, so today we have a heat index of like 105 or something like that, and they have cut off the water in my building because they have to repair something. So hopefully you'll be back on in the next couple hours or so. In the meantime, we're going to drink some beer because that's what you do in the middle of a heat wave, right? It's not like I could get dehydrated faster or anything. Eh? Okay. Anyway, cheers. Okay, so I'll show you some of the. Well, I'll talk about a couple of comics I read last week, and then I'll show you the comics I got today. All right. So, sorry, spilled something over here. All right. Okay. So, Punk Mambo #3. Okay, but I think I really need to go back and reread through uh, all the Punk Mambos. They're fine. They're all right. I like the art, but I feel like there's maybe something I'm missing. Um, it's like I read it and I kind of like the overall premise. You've got this girl. She's some sort of punk rocker, but she's also uh, kind of a comic book style sorceress or mystic. And then there's all this stuff here. We're in New Orleans or whatever, and it's voodoo and it's zombies. So it's an interesting mix of ideas. But like I said, I think I need to go back and reread it to get the full effect or full experience from it. Naomi Six. I kind of enjoyed this whole little mini series. It's basically an origin story for this character who lives in this small town. Nothing ever happens, and then one day, Superman comes through and has a fight with a supervillain. But that kind of gets people to remember kind of some crazy sci-fi stuff that's happened in the past in the town that people don't talk about. And somehow we find out that Naomi is kind of related to all these crazy goings on. And basically, the story is her. The mystery is her finding out how she's related to all of these things. So, um, I actually do enjoy. I think I might have mentioned it last video, but I found myself enjoying this comic book a lot more than the other creator-owned stuff that Brian Michael Bendis has been doing for DC recently. Black Cat #2. It's okay. Kind of a stereotypical caper story, but the writing's pretty fun. My biggest problem though is with the art. The lettering is kind of odd here, and the coloring was odd in some places. It's not bad or anything, but I don't know. For some reason, it's just off. The coloring doesn't work for me, and it just feels like something. I don't know. I just don't know. It's not bad, but I wish it could have been tighter, a little bit more polished, a little bit more traditional superhero looking, I guess. So that's that. Invisible Woman #1. It's just the first chapter, but I thought it was pretty good. Basically, it's set in the past, or the first part of it's set in the past, set 10 years ago. Uh, the Invisible Woman is still Sue Storm. She hasn't married Reed Richards yet, but this is after she's gotten her powers, and she's taken on some mission for Shield or U.S. government or whatever, and she meets up with another secret agent, and they carry out the mission, blah blah blah, and so now we're back to the present. Something's happened to this guy who was her partner, so now Sue has to find out what happened, and that's where we are with the first issue. So, all right, really good. Really like all this art in here. I guess this is how I would contrast the art here in the Invisible Woman story with the coloring. here in the Black Cat comic. It's just a lot more polished, more professional looking, and yeah. All right. What else? That's interesting. Invisible Kingdom. I don't know if I have anything new to say about this. This is another comic I think I'm going to reread after I get the last issue, or I think this is going to be this is your four. I think we've got one more issue. Basically set in space or the future. You have this woman who's this nun, and she gets hooked up with these guys who run this cargo ship. It has something to do with the church is doing something unscrupulous with church money. This ties in somehow with the corporation that's hired the guys from the freight ship. The art's okay. I wish it would have been tighter and crisper. There's sometimes where I'm like looking at the characters and I'm like, okay, is this person, or is this person that person? So I guess I wish the features on the people were a little bit more distinct. All right, and Bitterroot Summer Special #1, basically an anthology uh, centering around the different characters from the Bitterroot family, or the Bitterroot family here. So everybody gets a little story, and they're all drawn by different artists. Usually things like this, they're kind of hit and miss. Um, that's a weird thing about modern comics. Um, all the stories here are like you know, maybe six pages or so, and they feel like snippets of stories. They don't feel like complete stories. But you pick up old comics, even old EC comics, old Archie comics, old Superman comics. Back in the day, old underground comics, or even alternative comics from the 80s, even there was more of an ability for the artists and writers, or I should say, the artists and writers had a better grasp on telling short stories. Somebody could actually tell a complete story with a beginning, middle, and end. Here's a cool pinup. Story with a beginning, middle, and end in just a few pages. 8 pages was more than enough for somebody to tell a story. And you could do a story beginning, middle, and end with 1 or 2 pages. So, like I said, it's really interesting to see uh, people try to do anthology comics now, and it just seems like a lot of creators just kind of hit the mark sometimes. They just don't have that skill, I guess, for lack of a better word. All right, and there's some more art here. Okay, all right. So anyway, comics that I bought this week: Blade, Blade Runner 2019 #1, Faithless #4, Gideon Falls #15, Little Bird #5, Ride #2, Silver Surfer Black #5, or sorry, #2, and Spider-Man Life Story #5. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to leave town for like a few days, but I actually shot another sort of a review video or random comic review. So I'll probably upload that when I get back, and I have a couple. Well, I've got another idea for another video, but I'm not too sure when I'll be able to get to it because I might have to do a little research and a little bit of writing and stuff like that, which always takes me way longer than it should. So anyway, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. You guys have a good day.